Alright guys, welcome to the stream today. We're going to be doing the PUBG Mobile Masters League, and our first round today is going to be Erangel, as you can see already. Sorry, I'm running just a minute behind. Play line for this round is going to go from Primorsk all the way up a little bit past Severny, so pretty good line for our first round. As you can see, the first couple teams have already started jumping out, so let's go ahead and see where they end up going to, and hopefully we can get some action right off the bat today. And I think the only difference with the stream today is I'm going to attempt to run HDR graphics to see if it makes any kind of viewing difference. So hopefully the graphics look just a little bit better. If it freezes up just a little too much, I'll go back to smooth and extreme, but I think I'm running HDR and whatever the step down from extreme is. So let's see if it works out. Oh, that was quick. Already got my first ban of today. So please don't spam the chat, guys, especially if it's stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and just spectate in on these guys real quick. I'm going to go ahead and grab my finger sleeve so I can stop sticking to the screen real quick, and I'll be back in just a second. Alright, let's go ahead and find something going on. So I see two teams up here in the Yasnaya area. Just down the way, I do see one of the players from Seven Atoms pretty close to some of the members for Team 25. We're also going to have a couple teams over there in North and South George, as well as a couple teams outside of the quarry area, which is actually pretty surprising. I actually haven't really seen that many quarry routes in quite a while. So that's unfortunate. I'm guessing one of the players happened to be AFK during the drop, and they're going to be definitely separated from the rest of the team. Hopefully the Seven Atoms team can go ahead and meet back up with each other. Definitely makes it hard when kind of stuck out away from each other like that. So we're going to go ahead and see a knock onto one of the members right there from Respect Esports. Alpha barely making it away without getting knocked themselves. As you can see, he's going to get away with just 1 HP. Unfortunate to leave a play or lose a player that early, especially in the middle of a rotation. General rule of thumb, guys, is do not rotate next to compounds, period. So in rolls some of the members from Team 16. So this is going to be Frontline Esports rolling in onto PDX Bravo. As you can see, they're going to go ahead and eliminate them rather quickly. And fortunately enough, they didn't get their teammate thirsted. So definitely a good way to start things off for those guys. Let's rotate down here to Nova real quick, see what's going on between KDB Red as well as some of the members from Sonic Esports. As you can see right now, Rom currently looking where these footsteps are coming from. You can see LED or Leo, can't really tell. The O's and the D's kind of look the same in this game. Going to be chilling on top of the roof right there, trying to get an overwatch position to give some kind of information to his team. before I guess here, I'm assuming they landed some shots onto Giga right on the right hand side inside of that warehouse. I'm assuming that's why Grom is just chilling at this wall right here, just relaying some information to his team. What? Hopefully that message went through. Said some kind of error. Never seen it before. Let me switch. Well, attempted to switch over there, but for some reason it just wouldn't let me get there, so I'm assuming they got eliminated. That's an option I really wish they would take away. If they've already been taken out, don't sit there and flash on my map, making me think that something's going on. So at this point, we're really just waiting for the teams to go ahead and start making their rotations. Most of them are just going to be a little spread out to get anything going on between them. We did get just a couple things popping off at the very beginning. We reached that point where it's just kind of like the lull in between zones. So as soon as we go ahead and see the zone start shifting in like we do now and start pushing all the teams down from the north into this zone, we're going to see the northern and probably right around the two bridges are going to be heavily packed full of teams. We may even get some trying to swim across or even grab those boats. I hate the boats in this game. I feel like they are way too easy to go ahead and eliminate them when they're coming across. What's up, BBK? Welcome to the channel. I think I have to add you in game so we can play sometime. I've been bored playing by myself lately. And with that, Scott is going to go ahead and get the knock right there on the mast. This is now going to give them the ability to go ahead and push forward. I believe what that puts them down to just a one member still up. So hopefully the one guy can go ahead and keep them in this thing. But normally, guys, when it comes down to a solo, you try to remain as silent as possible, especially if you're going for end game points, because ranking generally pays out a lot more than kills unless your team is kill heavy. And I'm talking like high kills, like 15 to 20 something kills every round to make up for what you lose in placement points. Um, Other than that, I highly recommend going for placement points over kills, but you try to trade off between the two. Leo just peeking back and forth through the window right there. Shots coming through on the top of the building right there, but it doesn't look like maybe more than one ended up landing. And he ends up, well, that ended really quick. So he goes ahead and takes Giga down, and teammates happen to be just right there with that frag grenade to go ahead and take him out. Fortunately enough, that frag didn't take their teammate out with it, so at least they had some luck on their side. So with that, guys, we're going to go ahead and see the zone shift more to the right-hand side of this island. We're going to have a bunch of teams over here by the right bridge to military. So we're going to go ahead and see teams start grouping up. As we can see, we do have two teams currently pretty close to each other on the military island right here. This is going to go ahead and be S&G Red, and just in front of them is going to be Division 1. Bro, what is with all these people spamming this today? Sorry, guys. I had to ban another person from the channel for going ahead and spamming stuff through it. So right there, we did see a kill landing on, I believe, one of the players from Team 10. We're still seeing some shots right here from one of the members from Team 15. Oh, that's you? I apologize for not knowing that. I hope I didn't lose you too many points the other day. I tend to just hot drop unless people tell me that they're trying to go for rank. So we're going to go ahead and get a bunch of smokes right here. They're going to go ahead and start fanning out. But as you can see, they're starting to go away. And right there, we're going to see a knock onto easy. So I believe at this point, it is going to be down to just the one member over there behind the tree. I'm not sure if they're currently knocked or not. But with that one, it's going to go ahead and finish off that squad. So very nice job right there to Division 1. And let's go ahead and rotate over here, check in on the other side of the bridge. We are seeing teams start making their rotation. I believe we're going to see most of our battles on the right-hand bridge heading to military, like I did say earlier. Other than that, I did see, I believe, like one or two teams over on this side. I wanted to go ahead and see what happened with the rotation in. And hopefully they can go ahead and jump in their vehicles, make the rotation into the new zone. Otherwise, they're going to be taking quite a bit of zone damage momentarily. So, as I preach every single time, guys, zone priority number 1, kills priority number 2. If somebody's happening to block you from moving into zone and you have no other way of getting around it, that's when I definitely recommend to take the fight. Normally, you won't see that until later zones, because when they happen to be a little bit bigger like this one, you do have the opportunity to go ahead and basically just rotate around. Later zones, you really don't have that opportunity, since a blue zone most of the time is going to be at your back. So, and with that, we're going to go ahead and see a hard shift all the way down to military. So we will see these bunch of teams try to make their way across the water. And with that, we're going to see a knock coming from Grom. And I believe Team 14 was the one I was checking in at Nova earlier. So they're definitely rocking a bunch of kills so far this round. I believe it says, what, 4? So Grom going to go ahead and jump in that vehicle, make his rotation across to the buildings right here. Currently, Team 18 does have one member knocked, so they're going to have to go ahead and deal with the team of four right here pushing into their compound. And with that nade, that's going to go ahead and be a thirst onto one, so it's going to be a 4v2 at this point. Where are these dudes? Oh, they're hiding on the balcony. And that could have been a very bad day right there, and that's how it's just going to end. So that guys right there is the main reason you never, ever, ever want to be right on top of your teammates. You definitely want to span out as much as possible. I don't even like being in the same compound as my teammates. So if I was those guys, I probably would have had one on the roof right there. Maybe one on the second. I don't really like the second on that one, but definitely another one on top of this rooftop with them running three. I may have even had one laying prone on top of this, but never right on top of each other. That's always a horrible idea because stuff like that is bound to happen no matter what. People just throw blind nades and just something you got to prepare for. So at this point, I'm seeing a bunch of players swimming across the water. Hopefully, they do make it here on time. Right there, you can see Team 7, which is going to be Backstab Genesis. It does look like they're going to come into Nova first, so that one player over there for Etna team will probably have a little bit of challenge getting out of the water, so I wish him the best in that situation. Gonna go over here and check in with Seven Atoms real quick, see how they're going up against Divine right here. As you can see, Maryland gonna be just on the very edge of the zone, and Hate takes a bunch of damage right there. Nade coming out, landing directly in between these two players, gonna take just a little HP off of him, nothing too crazy. And that one is gonna cause a bunch of damage. Hopefully he has some heals, because this zone is definitely gonna be causing a bunch of damage at this point. And Fallen coming out with the knock over there on the Hate. I believe it is now just down to Maryland at this point, so let's go ahead and get a bird's eye view onto this one. What's up, Blur? How you doing? Actually, I didn't see the other players for Divine directly behind me. So they did have a whole entire team. From what we saw earlier, Hate did get taken down. Troy down to just a couple HP right now is going to be taken down by the play zone with a couple shots right there from Spectre over there on the hill. Really, both these teams right now caught in a very bad situation. Spectre over there can really just chill and just try to take these teams out as they try to rotate in. So Punisher does take down Maryland back over there, just out of my view. Hopefully he can go ahead and get that heal off before he gets taken down by the play zone, and it just happens to come off too short. So Divine should definitely hop in those vehicles if they do have them right there. Go ahead and make their rotation into zone. Hopefully, yep, I was going to say hopefully Fallen does get that heal off and just does so in time. So let's go ahead and check in over here with one of the members for Team 24. As you guys can see, PDX going to be rotating just on top of him on the very edge of the hill over there. One of their players, I believe, getting knocked out of the vehicle. They, Fidelity, I want to say, goes ahead and gets the thirst onto that one. And from what I'm looking at, Paradox going to be coming in from the eastern side of this zone. They should have absolutely no resistance coming in. They do have that compound right there. Other than that, we do have that little open spot right there on the northern side, so we should be seeing Team 22 rotating in there if they can get there quick enough. Other than that, we still have a bunch of teams out in the blue zone, and this is not the one you want to fuck with. This is the one that definitely kills you, so hopefully they can get in. I'm guessing that vehicle ran out of gas because I would not want to be running through this thing. It's nice shots through the very top of the grass right there. What's up, Slim Medium? How you doing? Thank you, Seki. Mixa, have you updated? Wait, are you talking about on your personal stream or you're trying to donate to a streamer? So Sunrise gonna go ahead and chill on the very coastline over here, trying to get those placement points for their team. This is actually kind of a weird zone, but I mean, it's got a lot of places to chill inside of like dips and everything. So at least there's a lot of natural cover for these teams to go ahead and take hold of. Uh, Hearing a bunch of shots come up back over here. Let me go ahead and check in with Puffy. Can Team 10 get into the zone before it's too late? And I do see one of the players going down and the second, so that's going to be it for those guys. Actually, I don't think it was 50. I actually think it was 80. So just on the backside over here, we're going to go ahead and see PDX really has no other option but to go ahead and take this fight. Right now, Team 25 directly in front of them is going to be stopping the rotation into this zone. So hopefully they can go ahead and deal with this situation to allow them to get in. We're also going to be seeing Maple just below, but I believe Maple's going to be chilling just for some placement points on their team. So PDX is going to have to go right at Team 25. Best bet right now would just be every single one of them throwing all their nades forward, smoking at the entire line forward. Basically just breaking off the line of sight, and hopefully they can go ahead and get some lucky knocks. This would be the one of the 3 instances I highly recommend turning aim assist on, just trying to get those lucky knocks through the smoke. Pratish gonna get knocked on the right-hand side right there, but in return, they do get the knock onto EXTR. Basically what we call that, guys, is trading. So basically, as long as you do a 1-for-1, it's basically just you know you're going to get one player knocked in the situation, but you're going to trade them off to get multiple knocks in return. It's a tactic that I see quite a bit in like the T1 scrims. It's basically getting you to look in one direction rather than another, and you'll trade off that knock just to go ahead and get some kills for your team, and see it quite a bit. So it's basically like playing chess with actual players. So currently right now, Protect going to be the only one currently up for PDX. Going to get a bunch of shots landed on them right there from one of the players from Team 21. And hopefully he's got some heals, just down to 1 HP at this point. And that nade's going to go ahead and finish off the player right in the dip right there. Who else is still? So we have nobody on the coastline. Maple still chilling down there in the little groove. And Spectre going to go ahead and take them down with an AK. So we're currently looking at our final 3 teams, guys. We got 3 players still up for Team 21. PDX unfortunately goes out right there. So it is all going to be down to the solo for Team 25. And that is it. Destiny Fate is going to go ahead and take our first round today. So stay tuned, guys. We're going to take a short break to go ahead and get our next round set up. So stay tuned and we will be right back. Sorry about that, guys. I wasn't even paying attention. For some reason, Trova doesn't like my TV today, so that's what I monitor my stream with, and it keeps kicking me off. I don't know why. So I'm going to go ahead and check right in with Team 13 over here. Leo or Led? I'm going to guess Leo. I'm guessing only thought one person was inside that compound, ends up pushing forward. Teammate ends up coming right out the window, getting the knock onto him. And here comes the third party from Team 10 directly behind him. So they're going to go for the revives. Broen really needs to jump out this window. He's sitting here just waiting, and that's going to make it so they're going to get their players back up, and it's going to be an uneven match against him. So sorry about that, guys. Just turning slow mode on real quick, so they can't go ahead and spam my chat anymore. I don't know why I didn't have it on sooner. So Team 10 now aggressively pulling up on the situation. They're going to go ahead and come into the compounds directly to the left-hand side of Team 13. This is now going to go ahead and force Team 6 out of the equation. What is that? Broen ends up getting knocked, so it's just going to be down to Cryasin, from what I can tell. The rest of Team 10 going to be spread out directly behind, trying to get those off angles through the windows right here onto these guys. And I do suspect that we're probably going to see some nades coming in through these windows momentarily. In the meantime, let's currently see what everybody else is currently at. I do see some teams over there in El Azahar. And it does look like Maple's come into the equation over here for these guys. Well, I take that back. He's gone ahead and hopped on that motorcycle and got out of here. So Puffy has gone ahead and gotten knocked for his team. This now puts Team 10 down to a 3-man from what I can tell. And what is that? Diad came very close to getting taken out himself. Got down to just 1 HP, but fortunately enough, did get the knock right there onto Cryasin. And can Maple go ahead and keep his team in this one or not? In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and switch out of this one, see what the other teams are currently up to. I do see some teams over here into the graveyard area, so let's go ahead and check in with these guys currently. This is going to be Divine and Team 14. I don't have my team list up currently, but it does look like they are going to be taken down. Troy's going to be inside of the little church, so Troy coming out with a knock onto Giga over there on the backside of this compound. The rest of his team has moved into the complete different side. It is all going to be coming down to Fidelity and Skies. And fortunately enough, they did get the knock right here onto Vicuous, I believe is what that says. And Team 9 wants to go ahead and join this one, so they're going to go ahead and push up. They do crash into the church right there. Both members over on this side going to go ahead and get knocked and thirsted, so I believe it is all going to be up to Troy for the rest of this round. It's where these guys crash at. So they're actually going to be inside the bigger church, whereas Troy's going to be in the smaller little chapel area. Let's go ahead and check in with Playboy right here, see what we can see from his view. So it's gone up ahead and got on the roof, ends up getting the knock right there with the nade onto Skies. And just might want to play it a little bit careful right there. You can hear that car 9 coming off and definitely aimed in his direction. So Troy meeting up with Zord over here for Divine. He does go ahead and get the knock into the thirst. This is going to force the rest of the team members into his location. It's going to give Team 14 over there just a little breathing room, but Playboy's still going to be over there on top of the roof. He's going to go ahead and jump down. And now we're going to go ahead and see a 2v1. So let me go ahead and check in with Troy real quick and watch how this one goes down. He's going to go ahead and ADS right as soon as Playboy comes into the room, and that 6x just a little too close. And I believe he ends up getting a knock onto one, but Playboy right there to go ahead and save his teammate. And that is going to be it for Divine in this second round. So next zone shift, guys, we're going to see this one stay around the Picado area. We're still going to have just the very edge of Los Leones in this one, as well as all of Chumacera. So we do have quite a few of the big cities still in this one, like San Martin, Monte Nuevo. Definitely all the popular drops right here. So let's see what these teams are currently up to in the center. Let's go ahead and check in with PDX real quick and see what they're up to. Just off in the distance from these guys, you are going to see a couple members from Team 22. How many are still up on that team? I see at least 3, but there might be 2 in that vehicle. So I'm guessing these guys drop Hacienda because they got that gold Murata right behind them. So in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and switch back over here to PDX. I really think Team 7 is going to be rotating into this area right now. Tiger's going to just overextend a little bit too much. Ends up paying the price for it right there. Ends up getting knocked. Fortunately enough, his teammate's not too far away, so should be able to get that revive off. Thank you, Robin. And with that one, I believe we're going to go ahead and see a third party, and they will have to worry about Team 14 directly behind themselves as well. Um, Here comes PDX rolling up on the top of the hill. They definitely hear all these shots directly behind them, fortunately enough. They do have this little jut out kind of thing, but hopefully Antares doesn't come up over the top of that ridge. If he does, he has a direct line of sight over top of this entire team. He really needs to take those shots. So here comes one knock. He should have gone for Pratish first, since that was the one right in the dead open. That was the only player that has the shots on him from the angle that they currently have right now. So if that nade would have just been timed maybe a second less, it would have had the opportunity to go ahead and bounce over the rock structure right there and possibly even get a second knock onto PDX. But grenades are a little tricky. It's something you have to definitely train on to figure out how long to go ahead and prime them up. What? Can you get inside this rock? Nah, that's got to be a glitch. So I'm seeing some shots come out from Team 24 over here, so I'm going to go ahead and check in really quick. Currently, they do have 3 men up. I just think I saw one go out through the kill feed. They're currently going to be taking on Team 17 as we speak. And I definitely like the ground Team 17 has right there. I actually prefer natural cover over compound buildings, everything like that. I feel personally like it's easier to move. You can breathe more. You can end up making rotations a lot easier, especially I don't like taking shots from the same spot over and over and over. I'm on the move pretty much 100% of the time. Um, Whereas buildings, I feel like there's only a few set places you can shoot out of. Like that compound right there, you've got what, the 4 doors in the back are the only thing with an eye view this way. So there's not really a whole lot you can do from certain compounds. That's the main reason why I like the open uh, dips and everything like that. So zone going to come to the western side of this one up here. Let's go ahead and check in with Team 25. They're going to be sandwiched in right between Team 4 and Team 22. And I believe I'm seeing some knocks come out back there from PDX we were spectating in with earlier. As far as I can tell, they're still kicking around, so it may have just been the solo on top of the rock structure. And zone going to go almost dead center on this zone. Let's go ahead and check in with Mike 24K. I do think we're going to go ahead and see him get pushed as we speak because they do have a knock currently on Alpha right there. Why is nothing, there we go. Say, why is nothing rendering in? So at this point, we are going to see the 2v2. Out comes the nade, almost has the distance to it, and it just happened to explode right before it got to the edge of the corner right there. Thank you for the follow, Prajit. So we're seeing a third-party attempt right here from Team 8. I'm not sure who got the knock onto Puffy. It could have been Harami. And we're still seeing the third-party shots coming from Team 8. They do land a bunch right there onto GOV, I believe it says. So they end up taking Team 10 out. That's going to give Team 18 a little bit of breathing room right here at the gas station. So that'll go ahead and free things up for them. They are still going to have to worry about a couple players just behind them. As you can see, 7 Adams going to be moving into the area now. So do they stay on that side? I believe they are. And he crashes the compound right here with the solo in it. So with those shots, it's going to go ahead and give his position away, but I don't think it's going to be an issue. These guys are just more concerned about zone. Definitely the right call on their part. Want to go ahead and get a good spot within it to go ahead and start farming these kills when the zone does move, and we're going to see a hardship to the right-hand side. PDX going to be almost dead center on this next zone, so definitely watch out for these guys. Basically, if you do have the zone shift to you and you do have an awesome spot, all you really have to do is sit back and farm the kills as they start to roll in from the blue zone. Like I say, from stream to stream, guys, they are going to be low on health. The reason why I would say zone priority number 1 is for reasons just like that. You don't want to go ahead and be picked off running from zone when you're taking a whole bunch of damage. You only take like 1 or 2 shots as you're coming in through the plane of the zone. And it definitely makes it a lot easier for the teams to go ahead and get those extra points right there in the final few zones. Flex ends up taking on the 1v1, ends up getting the drop onto Maverick. He came out very aggressive on that one, not knowing the exact position or even what kind of gun he had. And it created that little off angle right there for them to go ahead and start swarming in on this team. Out comes a second knock onto Mad, and Eternal pushes up by himself, ends up getting knocked by Maz OP. And here comes the rest of the team out. Flex goes down as well. Galactic goes down too, and it is all down to away. Fortunately enough, none of their teammates ended up getting thirsted in that exchange, but they may have to worry about PDX right here. If this man goes ahead and just peeks over the top, he can go ahead and thirst these kills, get some free points. And there's one. So team 4 up there does have a good position right here over top of team 15. We're going to go ahead and see a thirst right off the bat, as well as a second knock, and Respect ends up moving in, steals that kill away from them, and that is going to put team 15 down to a 1-man for the rest of this one. Who else is going to have the high ground? So team 4 definitely going to have the good ground on this one. The rest of the teams are going to be coming into the zone. Directly behind them is going to be Team 8, which is B2B. And both of those teams going to be eliminated simultaneously to the play zone. So with all the play zone knocks right there, guys, that does now bring us down to our final 4 teams. We're going to be looking at Respect Esports right here for Team 5. They're going to be rocking a duo. We have 3 still standing right here for Team 18. Full team over there for PDX, and a trio up there for Team 4. So who has this zone right now? So PDX almost dead center. Let's see if Team 4 is right on the very edge. So they could just chill here for a little bit and maybe try to gatekeep Team 18 from coming all the way in. Currently, Respect Esports does have a player currently knocked. Hopefully, Alpha can go ahead and crawl his way back to safety inside that smoke to get back up. And Hater starting things off with a knock onto one of the members from PDX, and I believe he's going to go ahead and get the thirst, so that now puts them down to a three-man up. I believe that puts them even strength with the other two teams, so that took away their advantage just a little bit. They're going to go ahead and level the playing field, get a knock onto one of the players up there for Team 4. Hopefully, for their case, Zone ends up shifting away from those guys, forcing them to come down from the top of that hill. I'm not sure if the entry and exit pathways to go up to the top of that have been taken away by the Zone or not. If they have, hopefully they don't end up having to jump to their death because as you can see, the Zone has now shifted away from them. So they really have no other option but to go ahead and leave their little high ground over there. And PDX looks like they're going to have to rotate into zone as well. Respect Esports as well as Team 18 going to be sitting right here on the very edge of zone. And they're going to go ahead and start things off over here on the left-hand side with a knock onto Saman. But unfortunately, Mike does get knocked in return by the players from Team 4 on top of the hill. So Pratish ends up getting a second knock. This is going to put them in a hard situation. They're only going to have about 20 seconds to make their rotation off of this hill. Uh, they might want to do so right now and just get it over with. They're not going to want to go ahead and jump down these cliffs as zone is moving in. I'd definitely just do it right now. It kind of looks like that's what they're getting ready for. They're going to go ahead and pre-smoke the area to go ahead and rotate down into, go ahead and block those lines of sight off from the other teams. Definitely a good call on their part. And Meeks ends up getting knocked in the rotation down, and Playboy as well. And so it's only going to be a one man up currently for Team 4. And I think they are going to be taken down by the play zone. So it does look like Team 18 has finished off the last player for PDX while I was not paying attention. And we're going to be looking at a 3v2v1. And this could really be any of these teams' game, especially even the solo. If he goes ahead and lets these two teams fight it out, possibly even get some knocks in between each other, he can just go ahead and third party this one. But if I was him, I'd sit back there, be quiet, and try to go for that second place. And there it is. So it's going to be a 2v1 for our final. Fortunately enough, Harami is going to be knocked on that right-hand side right there. So makes it a little bit easier to go for the 2v1 rather than a 1v3. Let's go ahead and spectator is messed up today. From what I can tell, it's going to look like a victory right there for Team 18. So very nice job to come get some. They're going to go ahead and claim the victory on Miramar today. So guys, we're going to go ahead and take a short break once again. Go ahead and get our third round set up. I believe we're going to be on Sandhawk next. So stay tuned and we will be right back. Welcome back to the stream, guys. So it does look like I was wrong. We're not playing Sandhawk this round. We're actually going to be running Vikindi. Got a pretty decent plane line this round, though, right down the center. We're going to see pretty much every drop spot usable on this line. So it is very possible we'll have quite a bit of action at the beginning of this one. As far as I can tell, we got 3 teams heading to the Critchus area. So let's go ahead and check in with these guys, see how this one's going to go ahead and turn out. So, what is this? So they are all on the same team. We're going to be looking at KDV Red for Team 14. Team 22 is going to be... Well, kind of switched me back with that phone call. I didn't have guided access on. So Tash is kind of in a rough spot right here. It's going to be soloed out from the rest of his teams, as you guys can see. All of Team 14 is pretty much going to be running for him. He does start things off with a knock right there. Happens to just go into that reload, and they push up the stairs right in the middle of it. So really nothing he can do in that situation. Fortunately enough, did get the one. Just didn't happen to get the thirst. But here comes the rest of his team now pushing forward. And Fidelity is also knocked right now, so it's going to be a 3v2, I believe. Grom going to go down, and it is all going to rely on Giga. And that is going to be it for KDV Red. Nice attempt. Did get the knock on the one. Made the right call on singling out the solo. Strategy I personally use myself. It does work. Just happened that they didn't reset into their positions fast enough after getting the knock. Probably would be a good idea to go ahead and practice resetting after getting in a fight. Normally, that's going to be a lot of the times what happens is if you go ahead and take a team out and you're sitting there looting everything up rather than just resetting really quick, you're going to get third-partied a lot of the time, especially on this map when people land closer to each other. So generally, the one thing you guys want to do practice is loot less and reset faster. It'll definitely save your life and your team's life in very, very tough situations. So Team 22 gonna get a double knock and a thirst right there. That's now gonna put Team 8 down to a 2-man. And as you can see, they are still trying to fire some shots in this direction. I think Astra trying to get some knocks through that window right there. Koa very brave peeking that window with no helmet, though. So since this battle kind of fizzled out a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and shift down here to the very bottom. Let's go ahead and check in with Team 23 real quick. I do see Team 18 somewhat close to these guys, so I actually want to go ahead and see what it's comparable to the map. They do have some other teams off in the distance, but they're not going to be close to these guys. But let's go ahead and check in with them. As far as I can tell, they're trying to play some shots downrange on the Ripper. They got a couple landed at the very beginning, and I think they're going to go ahead and take his vehicle out, hop in theirs, and go ahead and crash the compound and go ahead and take out the solo. And they're going to go ahead and get the knock and thirst right there. The rest of the team is just going to be too far away to go ahead and help out. So in the meantime, let's find something else to spectate in on. And we still have those teams up there in the top left. Fortunately enough, they're going to be almost dead center on this zone, so they're really not going to have to go anywhere. Um, they probably could stay in Critchus the whole entire game with how this zone is probably going to play out. Rule of thumb, guys, is every single Vikendi match is going to be first zone, one of the corners. So all the stuff right in the middle, I usually won't go for. Vikendi, personally, I don't like rotating on Vikendi at all. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I'm not familiar with it at all. I probably need to end up playing it more. Um, I don't really like rotating on this map or on Sandhawk, so I try to guess where the zone's going right off the bat. Hopefully, it's close to the primary. If not, we go ahead and grab just some armor and a gun and a little bit of ammo and just go ahead and rotate to zone as early as possible. Go ahead and claim a stake on some kind of territory and then try to loot that up before everybody else tries to go ahead and rotate. A lot of the times, most teams wait until the last couple seconds, if not, only rotate when the zone has already started pouring in. I definitely recommend to always rotate early, especially if the zone is shifted far away from you. Like, literally, just grab the car, pick up one gun, maybe a helmet or a vest. Doesn't have to be level 2 stuff. Just get at least anything. And then just go ahead and push as fast as possible to a location inside the zone. So Divine is going to have probably 4 different angles on these guys. Definitely a good opportunity to go ahead and get some random knocks through some windows. Hate can probably go ahead and continue rotating around, get to that rock right there, and have the off angle from these guys from the windows from the left-hand side of this one. Could possibly even come up all the way around. I'm not sure. Yeah, so Ked doesn't really have a line of sight past the crest of the roof right there, so he could definitely go ahead and rotate. They really have them blocked into this compound with nowhere to go. Zone's about to hit them any second, so they're going to want to go ahead and figure out what they're going to do. Personally, if I was Divine, I'd probably just go ahead and rotate off of that one. They're probably going to chill in there, waiting for these guys just to go ahead and leave. Stop. Wait a minute. Has it always been snowing on this map the entire time, or is it just I've never noticed it because I've always played on smooth graphics? So Team 22 is going to go ahead and get themselves an easy knock and a kill right there. One of the members from Team 24 just happened to go ahead and rotate into the open to the buildings to the right-hand side and ended up paying the price for it. So we're at the point where this one's just going to turn into a waiting game. Most of these teams all going to be forced together. Half our zone, I believe, is water, so we're going to be losing some ground for these teams to go ahead and take hold of. Fortunately enough, when it comes to Vikindi, it is very compound heavy, so there are a lot of positions for these teams to go ahead and take up whenever possible. It does get a little tricky once it comes down to the final 1 to 2 zones, especially if it does end to push towards the shoreline. There's really not a whole lot of compounds to take on that line, so gonna want to get as many vehicles possible. Right now, Team 21 is probably gonna have a very secure position in this zone. So currently going to go ahead and spectate in here with Frontline Esports. They're going to be taking on well, I was going to say final 2 members, but I believe they are going to be down to a 3-man. Fortunately enough, Troy going to be just a little bit farther to the right-hand side away from his team. That's going to cause the one player, I believe it says Ricks right there, going to go ahead and get knocked for their team. So Devon's going to go ahead and make the right choice there. They're going to go ahead and back off and rotate around. Definitely don't want to take too much damage from the zone, especially with them being at the disadvantage right there. Them taking zone damage. The other team was not. Um, Hopefully they can go ahead and make their way into zone. Hopefully don't run into some other teams. Seeing a knock come out onto Flex right here. Only team in the vicinity is going to be Team 16, so I'm assuming they ended up getting that knock. Let's go ahead and check in down here with, well, it wouldn't let me. Looked like all of Team 13 went out pretty much all at the same time. So we're spectating in with Team 4 just a second ago. I ended up rotating up here to Respect Esports. Just behind these guys is going to be Backstab Genesis, I believe. And for a second, I did think they were going to roll into where they thought these shots were coming from. Let's see if we can get Divine getting some kills right here. Unfortunately, they do slam into that tree. Maryland going to go down and Hate going out at the same time. So that is unfortunately going to be it for those guys in our third round. So zone about to hit any second. Let's see where this one goes. And it really just remains centralized. I mean, it's going to come in from the water quite a bit. But Critchus and where Team 10 is probably going to be dead center on this map right at this second. Currently, let's go over here, check in with Team 4. Currently, they are going to be battling it out with Team 11 over here. Currently, a couple knocks onto both teams, and that is going to be it. Team 11 is going to be the victors. Unfortunately, just wasn't able to get here quick enough to get all of that on stream, which definitely sucks. It looked like it was a good fight. So Zyrex, the only one currently standing for Team 16. He's going to go ahead and rotate away. Definitely a good call considering PDX is right here on the very edge of the zone. Don't see him getting that revive off it onto his teammate. So made the right call in that situation. Let's go ahead and rotate out of here. Guess we'll go back up here to Team 6. Let's go ahead and see what we get going off between these couple teams. For a second, I thought they were actually in a boat out there, but turns out they were just running along the water's edge in a vehicle. I believe it's just going to be a two-man for these guys. Yeah, they already lost their other players. So next zone, we're going to go ahead and see a hard shift up to the north. Critch is still going to be within this town. If I were to guess where this one, I would still stay in Critchus. I would rotate all the way to the north as far as possible in Critchus, and I would probably just chill there for the rest of the time, hoping I get zoned for the rest of the game. Team 24 may have some competition in there. As you can see, Team 22 going to be chilling, so nobody is going to want to lose that territory this early in the game. They're definitely going to want to fight for it, considering that it is probably the best spot in this zone. Actually, it's probably been the best spot in this zone since the beginning of this round. What's up, Zerd? Welcome to the channel, dude. Oh, that's some spectator glitch. So currently, Team 18 going to be down to a two-man. Both the revives going to be crawling over there, begging to be picked up. Team 22 does have one of their members crazy low on health. It's only going to have 11 bandies, so no helmet either. Jesus. We're going to be seeing a whole bunch of action right here on the outer edge as all these teams end up rotating directly into each other. Well, I didn't mean to switch that far away from it. So potential for the third party right over here is going to be absolutely crazy. Really, no movement is going to go unseen, so they're definitely going to want to try to pop as many smokes as possible, get themselves that little bit of cover, and try to remain alive as quickly as possible. None of these teams are really going to have that far to go ahead and make their rotation into zone. The only problem is, like I said, it's just not going to be easy to do so. They're probably going to have to wait until some of these teams either leave or get taken out by zone, but I really don't see them being taken out by zone. They're probably just going to sit here and just try to wait them out, especially since Team 17 has the very edge. They really don't have to go anywhere. They can just sit here and farm. All these teams just rotating into them. So Rami, I believe, going to go ahead and get one onto 4W, I believe is what it said, down there inside the city. And PDX runs in as a trio, ends up taking down the one member for Team 15 right there. Unfortunately, that does leave Pritish in a very hard situation. It's going to have two members from Team 10 aiming down the barrel at him. Ends up getting the knock, but fortunately enough was able to crawl over to hopefully get that revive. Not sure if they're going to have enough time. The zone is now rotating in. And Team 10 decides to go ahead and go. One of their members ends up getting shot out of the vehicle, but Away is going to steal that away from PDX. So Punisher, the last one up for 7 Adams from what I can tell. He's going to go ahead and try to heal inside of that little tent right there, waiting for these teams to just go ahead and rotate away from him so he can safely get inside of this zone. But it's just taking a lot longer than normal and going to be taken down by the play zone. So Brock's for Team 7 going to go down right there. That is now just going to leave Tegger's the only one up for this team. And ends up being taken down right here by Link. So very nice job to him. He's going to go ahead and keep Team 18 alive in this one. As you can see, his two teammates are going to be just below. He's going to go ahead and heal back up. And hopefully get his team some more kills. From what I can tell, what are these guys at? 11 kills so far this round. So definitely made the right choice there from what you guys saw. Always go ahead and heal up before you go ahead and get your teammates revived. For all you know, people could be looking at you, and as you go over there in low health, you could just be taken down, and that is ultimately it for your team in that round. What the So Team 6 is now going to be caught in a tough situation. The only thing they really have here for cover is going to be a couple rocks and some trees. As you can see, Team 17 going to be on their left-hand side, spreading out from each other and basically getting a couple different angles to go ahead and shoot right here on the hard cover for these guys. But they're also going to have to worry about Team 21 rotating in as well, so it could really be either of these teams' games if they go ahead and play this smart. Team 21 right now, I don't see going ahead and making their rotation right now. They're right on the very edge of the zone, but momentarily when the zone hits, it may force them out of that compound right in the direction of Team 17 right here. And Team 6 trying as hard as possible to go ahead and stay in this one. I believe they ended up losing that one member pretty early as soon as Team 17 crashed in. But fortunately enough, Flex getting knocked for Team 17 over there. As you can see, Away is going to try to backtrack to go for that revive onto their down teammate. That'll give Team 6 just a little bit of breathing room over here, since it's only going to be I believe a 3v2 at this point. And Colette has got a knock onto one of the members for Team 6, giving them the opportunity to go ahead and flank around to the left. And I want to say the rest of his team is going to be taking on the two members for Team 17 over there. And that is going to be it for Away and his knock teammate that were on that side. Right in the middle of that one. And I guess they got a knock onto the one player from Team 21. It's Accelerate something, can't see him over top of his other teammate. So during that exchange, like I said earlier, guys, it did look like X-Ray Gaming right here, or I'm assuming that's X-Ray Gaming. Their tags don't really match up, but they were looking fairly aggressive over here against Team 6, and then it all just kind of changed when Flex got knocked on that backside, forcing Away to go back for that revive. So Azer is the last one currently standing. Well, I didn't see Maple, so I take that back. So Maple's going to get the knock onto Eternal. This now puts it down to just Sparky for Team 17, and Azer ends up getting taken down by the rest of Team 21 over there. Sparky trying to solo Team 21 on the left-hand side, ends up getting the knock. I believe 2 knocks over there, but was just too low on health to go ahead and fend off the third. They end up rotating right in and getting the third round victory for themselves. So very nice job to, I believe it's Destiny Fate on that one. So we're going to go ahead and take a short break, guys. Go ahead and get our fourth and final round set up. So stay tuned, and I think Sandhawk might be our next round. So I guess we'll find out together. Hi guys, welcome back to our final round today. We're going to be playing on Sandhawk. And play line's going to go from the docks to Camp Alpha. So only thing I see out of this plane line, we might have some teams trying to head up a little bit past Paradise to Magnai, as well as Camp Bravo and Cow. So might be a little difficult with the plane line we have, but definitely doable if they do play it smart. A lot of the times, I do see northern zones on Sandhawk. Main reason why I pretty much try to stay around the boot camp area, because I feel like the circle always favors boot camp for some reason, and I'm not sure why. So main reason that's why I try to stay right around that area. Currently, Team 24 is going to be down to just a two-man. One of their members currently not. Team 15 looking very aggressive on this push, and they just want to go ahead and get the rest of these guys out of the way so they can go ahead and loot up as fast as possible. Where is this zone going to go? And going to be a northern zone. So here comes the push forward from Team 15. Let's see how this one ends up going down. So ends up getting a knock onto one, and they do take his teammate down, so we're going to be looking at a 3v1, and just happens to have no armor. So in the meantime, we're going to get to this one at the very tail end of it, seeing some shots come out from Team 17 over here. Looks like they should be pretty safe, though. Let me see if I can go ahead and rotate up here to Team 13 before the rest of Team 9 ends up rotating in. So couple knocks, I believe, coming out over on this side. Currently, Team 13 down to just two members as we speak. And Playboy and Zor are going to be right here. It looks like they're about to go ahead and start pushing forward. Doesn't want to go across the street. Panic ends up getting the knock and the thirst onto him. And this now leaves it just up to Zord. The rest of his teammates are going to have to go ahead and start piling this way. But with their location, I probably wouldn't move. I'd probably just chill there. They do have a very good spot in this zone, so that would ultimately be my decision right there, is not really to move. Sandhawk, I don't like moving a whole lot. So Jin ends up rotating upstairs into all of Team 7 pretty much. So that's going to be it for them at 10. Team 7 going to remain the victors over here. So let's go ahead and rotate out. Let's go ahead and check in with boot camp. Haven't been over here since the very beginning. Zico is going to be right here against one of the members for Team 22. Fortunately enough, he is going to have some backup just behind him, but he's going to be down to just one shot at this point. Still trying to remain alive, ends up getting knocked right there as soon as he stands up to go ahead and get those shots, and his teammate's going to go ahead and leave him. In the meantime, I'm going to go over here and switch in with 7 Atoms. Currently, they are going to be taking on Team 17. End up going ahead and piling out the front. front end. Fallen lands a couple shots into an Eternal, but fortunately enough, he did have the tree. So ends up using that for some hard cover, ends up peeking around to the side and ends up getting the knock onto him. So that's going to go, or sorry, that's going to be it for 7 atoms right there. And let's go ahead and rotate out of here and see what everybody else is currently up to. Seeing some shots again up here from Team 13. Earlier, we did see Team 9 start rotating into these guys. And if I remember correctly, I think Playboy attempted to cross the street and end up paying the price for it since they went ahead and were watching that area. So one soul currently knocked right in front of this, or right in front of that rock, and I think it might be stolen by Hater over there for Team 18. Definitely sucks when you do all the hard work and somebody else gets the points for it. Gonna go over here and check in with Team 7 now. I believe they have one player on their team knock. They do have a knock in return. And out comes a second one onto Ibiza. And Atera is going to go ahead and have to heal up a little bit before they go ahead and push right onto him. Ends up getting a couple bandies off just in time. And then his teammates definitely doing some work on the top of the hill up there. Gets... what is that? Hypnose down to just a couple HP. Ends up going to heal up. And Puffy very lucky in that situation. If Hype wouldn't have come out of that door at that perfect moment, Puffy would have definitely been knocked and thirsted right there. So with that push down the hill, Puffy's going to go ahead and take down the last member of Team 7. So it's going to be it for those guys. Zone's still going to go ahead and shift back up to the north. And once again, it's going to be right here on this island with Hatin and Camp Alpha. Does have a little bit of the main island still in it. A little bit of Tatmok as well as a part of Boot Camp. Let me go ahead and check in with Maple over here. See what's going down between these guys. I think it's a solo in the wrong spot. So Paradox going to be rotating in from the blue. They're going to have no time before this thing shifts again, so they're going to have to trek all the way to the new zone. Hopefully they can go ahead and get there. Hopefully they got the meds to do so. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and rotate over here to Team 21, see what's going on between them and Team 4. So I do see Spectre knocked all the way at the bottom of the hill. Fortunately enough, it does look like they will have that dip in their favor. So hopefully they won't go ahead and get thirsted. And hopefully their team can go ahead and keep them in this one. Colette going to go ahead and get a knock onto Meeks and gets the thirst. So that now does put Team 4 down to a 3-man. And it kind of looks like Spectre has gotten into the area to go for that revive. So hopefully Colette can maybe get him up. But just off in the distance, they may have to worry about Team 17 rotating into the area as well. I'm not... Yep, they're just going to be on the backside of that hill. And I think Colette ends up getting knocked in return. Ends up getting stolen by Flex for Team 17 back there. So Team 4 ends up jumping down to the lower hills. As you can see, they end up getting some shots landed on them. And I think Spectre's going to go ahead and bleed out unless they can go ahead and touch him. And literally, nope, just happened not to get it in time. So it was, what, like half a second? He was literally right there. So they're going to go ahead and get the knock on to Tamiko over there. That's now going to put Team 21 down to a 1-man. Kind of looks like Respect Esports going to be... No, they're actually on the other hill, so... Really depends on where this zone shifts to. I mean, they do have kind of middle So hopefully it stays with them. I'm not a big fan of either of these two hills. Um, Pretty much every scrim I ever see, any team that is on these hills, when the zone closes in, it really takes the entry and exit points away. So they're really only left with one option: fight until they have to jump to their death or go out to the play zone. Um, Generally, why I don't like these, I've never seen a zone stay with these hills in any of the EU scrims I have ever done. So believe this is all on the shoulders of Sparky. Fortunately enough, does have that Uzi, so could put up a pretty good fight if somebody ends up going to rush him. Gets the knock onto one, ends up pulling out that M4, and sprays, gets the knock on the second, but here comes the rest of the team. So zone currently pushing in. PDX is going to be coming in right behind teammate over there on the bridge. And this could be really bad for those guys. So they're going to go ahead and I'm guessing they're going to go high and come in through the very top, swimming across right into Hitin. Tuck ends up getting shot off the back, and hopefully they can go ahead and get out of that vehicle before it goes ahead and explodes. They're pretty much almost all the way there at this point. B2B gonna be right at the bridge. I believe they had two members in the water from what I saw, and this one's actually gonna go right to the hills, guys. So we could see this one finish on these hilltops, and would be a very different ending from what I'm actually used to. Can I please spectate in on the battle? So with that coming from Team 18 over there, that is going to eliminate PDX from this round. And they're going to go ahead and have to make their rotate into these, or make their rotation into these hills. But from what we saw earlier, guys, they will have to worry about B2B over here by this bridge. And everybody else making their rotation in right now, so they shouldn't really have to worry a whole lot. Nobody's on that camp Alpha side at all, and nobody's really on the hills right there, right in front of the one member for Team 23. So this zone's pretty much open, so the only thing I see happening in this rotation is some of these teams may end up seeing each other and shots coming out from at least one of them. So as you can see right there, Hater's going to be rotating by. I believe he ends up being shot out of the vehicle, maybe? That's what it kind of looked like on the map, but I don't see any vehicles here. So Harami trying to play some shots right there onto one of the members for BTB, and he ends up getting the knock on the second. This is going to put them in a tough situation with the zone coming in. This thing is going to be causing a bunch of damage, ends up taking down another. Fortunately enough, able to hop away, surviving, but he's going to want to end up running away from the zone. Let Astro do his thing back there, trying to get those members back up. May or may not be a very good decision. Hopefully, Team 18 still has some members still kicking around. And can Astro get this heal off is the real question. Sir Hami's gone ahead and pushed forward. And Astro's going to go ahead and prime that nade. comes over a little bit too far. Harami's going to go ahead and get the final right there, but gets taken down by the play zone. So it's kind of a trade off, get that 1 point, but it also causes your team to go down one more member. And ultimately, that could hurt their potential for winning this round. So we're going to get a double knock from Sayman over here on the backside of the hill. And this zone is going to go ahead and rotate around. So they're going to have a very long trek through the zone. Hopefully those boxes over there have some meds. Otherwise, this could be it for them. That is quite a long rotation through these mountains and everything right there. So I'm seeing some more, well, that's fall damage. I'm guessing he fell off the backside of the cliff, maybe? So Sayman ends up going down, and I believe that puts Team 13 down to a one man from what I remember. Oh, never mind, wrong team. So currently, we're looking at our 5 final teams in this round. We're going to have 3 members still up for Team 6 right here, a solo for Team 5. Uh, Another solo back there for Team 13, a solo for Team 18, and a duo for Team 4. Actually, a trio. Gonna have another one right on top of the hilltop. So this could be pretty tricky, guys. Currently, where Team 6 is at, if this one goes ahead and shifts away from them, they have no way of making it up that hill. The other teams currently in the same boat. If this one shifts away from them, they have no other option but to go ahead and jump off of this cliff to their death or just try to take out as many people as possible before the zone claims them. Panic right now, just chilling, trying to go ahead and get his team at least second place on this one. Ponyboy coming out with a knock on to Chrisan over there, and I believe Panic's going to go ahead and take down one of the members from Team 4 and ends up being taken down in the process. So now we are looking at our final 2 teams, and this zone is going to go ahead and favor Team 4. So they really have no other option but to go ahead and take that zone damage and try to get into this zone. Otherwise, they're just going to die right here to this zone. And here we go. It's starting to roll in. So I'm ultimately assuming Team 4 is going to be taking this round just on the position from this zone. Like I said, they don't have anywhere to go. And that's it. Hopefully they can go ahead and heal off for as long as possible. That nade does make contact. So at least Acer putting something on the board for these guys right there. So first 2 members down, and that is it. Team 4 is going to go ahead and win the round by default. So very nice job to those guys with the position they had. And it just comes down to those hills, guys. Those hills, like I said, they suck. It's either that's the first time I've ever physically seen the zone in any of the U scrims actually go to that location and stay there. And it basically came to what I normally see is teams having to jump off to their death or fight it out until they get taken down by the play zone. What we saw there was a complete opposite. The teams couldn't make their trek up because the entry and exit points were cut off, forcing them to push up to the very base of the hill and just sit there and basically go out to the zone. They didn't even have any shots on the guys on the top, so they basically just got to sit back there and win that last round fairly easily. They didn't even have to put up a fight right there at the end. So when it comes to those, I'm not a big fan of those. So like I said earlier, guys, but that's going to be it for today. I will be back tomorrow doing the PMC Open Scrims at 10 o'clock Eastern time. And then I'll be back later that night with my own personal scrims, and those will be at 8 o'clock Eastern time. So go ahead and tune in tomorrow for some more fun and hopefully get a bunch of good action for you guys on stream. So thank you for all the follows and everything to get today, guys, and thank you for all the views. And definitely appreciate it a lot. And I will see you next time.